Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon from India and good morning to Sweden people and the world. Accordingly, adjust yourself with the wishes. So we are back here with homeostasis journeys. Today we are going to interview none other than Eric Karlson, a direct student of Kenneth Jaffrey. So we are excited to listen to him. Regarding homeostasis journeys, we started the journey in 2019. 2019, we had a conference in Bikaner, Rajasthan, India. That was the first conference on nature and life. We had a beautiful venue and a lot of topics to discuss on pure nature cure. There are a panel of experts and a lot of panel discussions, debates, and a lot of outdoor activities, including delicious food with there. And we're looking forward to world to open up to have another session of this conference. 2020, due to the lockdown, we couldn't do the conference, but we started this homeostasis journeys with interviewing many people, those who afforded to change their life to sync with nature. So we have interviewed Victoria also. Victoria is also there in today's panel. And today, in 2021, we are starting this with the first interview with Eric Karlson. So without much delay, I would like to bring all the panelists here, including Meenu, Victoria, and Eric himself. Welcome, welcome,
Hello,
Eric. Yeah, so
thank you.
Great, great. So Victoria, would you like to set the stage, and then we'll be backstage, you and me, and Meenu will take over for the interview.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to the interview today. We did do a run through last week, and Eric has some fascinating insights and are really interesting for those of us who are already following Nature Cure, or those people who are coming to Nature Cure. Eric has some really wonderful insights and just a wealth of knowledge, and knowing how he came to Nature Cure and what guided him in this direction and what he's gained from it is a wonderful for all of us, no matter what our knowledge is. So thank you for sharing with us today, Eric. I really look forward to listening to your interview today.
Great, guys. So I and Victoria will be backstage. Over to you, Meenu and Eric. All the best. And we are eager to listen to you guys. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so Eric, hello, how are you?
Hello, fine, thank you.
I'm really excited and eager to speak with you today, Eric. And I would like to introduce you first. Eric is a doctor of naprapathy from Sweden, and he is also a nature cure practitioner. And he was a student of Kenneth Jaffrey in Australia, and he studied with Kenneth Jaffrey in Australia. So Eric, please share with us what drove your initial interest in nature cure?
Well, my life changed quite early in life. My first 9 or 10 years was quite normal. But there was a few things that happened when I was quite young that sort of changed my whole life. I was brought up in quite normal life, and my life was quite normal until I was 9 or 10. And then there was a few things happened that brought everything about, so to speak. I was brought up to speak the truth and always be honest. There was no alternative to me, really. That the thought that people would not speak the truth did barely not exist to me. But once I caught an adult in my family not speaking the truth, and that really made me start thinking. A second thing that happened was I visited Copenhagen Zoo once with my daddy, and there I saw a cat animal, likely a cheetah or puma or something. It was walking back and forth in a small cage, dark cage, and that I felt very bad about that, and I thought it should be running around freely where it came from. We should not be treating animals like that.
Yeah.
And thirdly, one day I finally realized that I was eating the flesh of animals that was killed just so that I should have food. And that was the end of meat eating for me. So that was a big change. And then I learned that if you place yourself in a garage with a car with a motor running, you will not live for long because you will be poisoned to death. And then I thought that, well, what happened then when we have millions of cars on the roads, we have emissions from factories and other places, and I realized that no one knew exactly what was going to happen with this in the future. So thus, we're making a global experiment. And that's for my interest in global environmental questions. And finally,
Yeah.
the
So,
fifth and final thing is that I was thinking about what do we put into our bodies. I used to buy a powder in the shop and water and make a drink of it. And when I found out it contains cyclamate, which is an artificial sweetener, and I learned it could cause you harm. And I thought, why would I put something into my body that causes harm? And then my interest in health was born. And then I started to shun everything that I thought could cause harm to me. So that formed my life philosophy.
yeah, I understand. So, Eric, like, how did you decide to be a nature cure practitioner? How did you come in contact with Kenneth Jaffrey?
This was back in 1984. I heard about Kenneth Jaffrey through my partner at the time, and we went to see George Luke, who's a friend of Mr. Jaffrey near Sydney. And the following year, in April 1985, I visited Ken Jaffrey on my native island. And then the journey just continued on after that. I read his books, and I was thrilled to see how he explained self-healing, what health is, and what you should do to
So
acquire health.
please, Eric, please tell us what health is and what self-healing and nature cure is all about. Like, what probably you could share some basic principles of pure nature cure, or like how we fall sick and what it is really all about.
Yeah, well, nature cure is about living healthily, or healthfully,
Yeah.
maybe is the right word. And we do that by supplying the natural conditions to our lives. And that includes eating good foods. It includes being out in the fresh air, exposing ourselves to sunshine, drinking
Yes.
fresh, clean water, and living according to the natural rhythms, and having a positive frame of mind and doing positive actions. And also it's a question of social life. Our social life is very important to us. And also sleeping sufficiently, resting, and relaxing.
Sure. So, Eric, can you explain that, like, how do we fall sick then? Like, if we are doing all these things, just like you mentioned, the sunshine and the fresh fruits and vegetables and all the natural inputs, if we take care of, what can we understand about disease then? Like, what disease is according to nature cure?
Well, disease is really not practicing those things I spoke about. in our modern life, there are so many things that are harmful to our health. I mean, we have all the chemicals, we have all the junk foods, we have the
Yes.
polluted air, drinking water. So it's really going away from those factors, and disease
Yes.
is really a result of that.
Yeah. Great. So well explained that when we move away from nature, that is when you understand how, like, it is a body's mechanism to bring back the balance, is it?
Yes, you could put it so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, like, can you share some of your experiences with Kenneth Jaffrey, Eric?
Well, Kenneth
Like,
Jaffrey was a very,
how do you remember him? Like, as a teacher, as a person you spent a lot of time with, and what was so great about him? Like, maybe a glimpse of what Jaffrey was like to all of us.
well, Kenneth Jaffrey was a very special person, very intelligent, and he was a perfect detective. He could really see the connections between things, and I think that applied not only in health but also in other what's the word, areas. And what I think it started when I met him. He could really explain things. And when I read his books, I was thrilled to see how he could explain healing and health and how healing is produced, what is producing. He's talking about the vis medicatrix natura, the natural healing power within us, and that we've got to get the right conditions. He explained about the healing crisis, about what's so-called acute disease, and how our acute disease can be converted into disease if we're living under the wrong conditions, or into health if we apply nature cure principles. He was also a very generous man, sharing things with me and many other people. It's a sort of a character who you can never forget. It's a very amazing man he was. And he had the ability to learn a lot by himself and through studying and see really these connections between things that I think is very, very rare that we can see.
Yeah, looks like what I'm understanding of what you're saying is that he was very observant of everything that's happening around him, probably, and that is how he was able to absorb the natural, like what is natural. He was able to understand that. Sounds so wonderful to even think about a person like that, Eric. And it's so nice that you are sharing all these things with us.
Yes, it was a real privilege. I was really lucky to meet this person. Yeah. And I learned
Eric,
to know him from 1985 until he passed away. So it was quite some years.
Yeah. So have you worked with other nature cure practitioners also, or
I have not really worked with them, but I have had contact with a few Australian nature cure practitioners, and we have exchanged, and I have learned from them too. But Ken Jaffrey was my main teacher. And I also, actually, I studied with a man in Pondicherry in India for 3 weeks during the 80s.
Oh, that's nice. So, Eric, like if you were to give some advice to the current nature cure practitioners, like the upcoming nature cure practitioners or people who are interested in nature cure and are leading their lives, trying to lead their lives with the principles of nature cure, what few suggestions or piece of advice you can give so that they can continue on this journey and probably because it is like, you know, it's very different from a conventional lifestyle. So like some piece of golden words for all of us from your experience.
Yes, I think first of all, live it yourself, and secondly, try to be a good teacher. Learn the principles, teach them to your patients, make them motivated, give lectures, write articles, books, whatever you fits you the best.
Yeah.
And
So,
get people
from
together
what you're
too.
saying,
Socially, I think
yeah,
it's very important.
yeah. What I'm understanding is that you mean to say that a nature cure practitioner is also an educator, a teacher who is actually teaching about the
Yes,
principles and why we need to do what we need to do.
yes, absolutely. Nature cure is more than anything education for a nature cure practitioner. Okay, most of us is doing it, but for a practitioner, education is the most important factor. But of course, in nature cure we also have therapies like spinal treatments, hydrotherapy, and so forth.
Yes. Can you
But
explain a
education
little
is
bit
still the main
about
thing. Get people to
naprapathy?
practice it. Sorry?
Can you explain a little bit about naprapathy? You are a doctor in
On naprapathy.
naprapathy. Yeah.
Yes. Naprapathy is basically treating the scar tissue in the body. So treating the muscles, the joints, and the ligaments. And when we have scar tissue, especially if it's in the area of the spine, that can disturb the nerve impulses coming from the brain, going to wherever it's going. So then we get what we call in nature cure innervated. The nerve force doesn't come to where it's supposed to. So it disturbs the whole system, you could say.
Okay.
So we correct that by treating scar tissue in the muscles and the ligaments primarily.
So how is
And
that done?
naprapathy is also, sorry, it's done with your hands. You're treating a patient with hand,
okay.
similar to as an osteopath do. And naprapathy is actually developed by a chiropractor, a student of D. Palmer. His name was Oakley Smith.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So,
do you can you share with us some something of what some words of Kenneth Jaffrey? Like, what did he tell you, which you like remember as a quote, maybe?
Well, he had his favorites, so to speak, like structure governs function.
Yeah.
Which means that
I also read that. I read that also in Kevin's book, Kevin Hinton's book about the structure governs function.
Kevin Hinton often quotes that one. It's one of the favorites.
Yeah.
But he had many things like that. He used to say, "There's a time and a season for everything." And maybe you don't think about it, but it can really be applied in nature cure and in life as well. It's really, it's a lot in that little saying. It's also one of my favorites. Because some things you can do them, but if you do them at the wrong time, it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. So there is a question from one of our viewers, Eric.
Yeah.
So Binal is from India, and she is asking this question: why social life plays an important role, as you mentioned it as one of the factors to lead a healthy life. So, what is the importance of social life?
I think that social life is very important. I mean, loneliness, we don't like to be alone, and we are social animals. And if we feel a community with people, we feel better. I think it affects our circulation or nerve energy greatly. We should do things together with other people. We're not loners. We shouldn't be lonely. And even if we practice natural living, and there are only relatively few people in the world who do that, we should try to find those people, I think, who do the same or similar thing to what we do. I think that's very important.
Yes, I remember from Jiddu Krishnamurti, he was also he was the one who said that to live is to be related. You know, life is nothing but relationship and connectedness.
Yes, very important.
So of course, it is very important. Yeah, and there's another question from Sumedha. She's asking, in what kind of cases is naprapathy used? Can it be done in case of bone injuries?
Well, naprapathy is used to treat mainly scar tissue, muscles, ligaments, treating the joints. Bone injuries like fractures, of course, we don't treat fractures. That's what she's talking about. So we do that to actually correct the posture of the body what's the word? When the body is not in symmetry.
Yeah, to bring back the symmetry of the body, maybe the balance which is lost.
That's basically what you do. We talk about structural integrity in nature cure. So this is what we're working with, body structure.
So maybe Victoria and Kalyan sir, if you're available backstage, please come online, and it will be nice if you can also contribute with some questions and comments.
Yes. Great. We were actually listening you very attentively. An excellent conversation. Thanks, Minu and Eric. Victoria, any question from your side, please?
Not so much, I suppose, a question, but you know, I've very much enjoyed Eric, and I agree with him when Minu asked, you know, what is important of a nature cure practitioner. You know, I think that's absolutely where we nature cure practitioners differ from pretty much all other healthcare modalities or philosophies, is that nature cure primarily we are educators. We know that health is not something that can be bought. It's not something that can be swallowed. It's not something that can be injected into a person. It can't be passed to a person who has spent their whole life neglecting all the laws of nature. So we teach people how to live according to the laws of nature as they pertain to the human organism. And so we encourage people to learn and then to take that information and put it into their daily lives so that they can live healthfully, because, you know, as Eric said, the vis mediatrix naturae, it is the healing power of nature. You know, the human body is a self-healing organism, and when we do the right things, the body just automatically heals itself. As we know, the body is you know, preponderant on homeostasis. It will always be striving to maintain its best state of health. And why are people not healthy? They're not healthy because they're not living in a way, as Eric said at the start, you know, we've come so far away from nature. You know, there's very few people that really have any idea how to live healthfully. And so education is the key, absolutely. So that was
I think we received a follow-up question from Sumedha from India. So she was asking about the naprapathy, use of naprapathy in bone injuries. Including that, she also asked for the vascular issues.
Vascular.
Yeah, vascular. Yeah. Eric, are you there?
So, Eric, is it possible to use naprapathy in vascular issues also?
Yes. Yeah. As we treat the spine, We also treat the nervous system and the vascular system indirectly, so it can be also
So for bettering the blood circulation,
affect
you mean?
positively vascular issues. Yeah, to improve the blood circulation. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Circulatory
Right.
issues are reflective of innovation. Absolutely. So everything we do in Nature Cure, most certainly,
Yes.
the spinal condition, etc., major influence on that. So you don't just look at the one thing in Nature Cure, you look at the whole thing. So absolutely.
So great. Thank you,
Yes,
Eric, and thank you,
it's,
Victoria. It was great to do this. I mean, we must do it often, I think.
Absolutely.
And we will be interviewing many more people from all over the world. I'm sure we'll do it.
Yeah,
And,
Sumedha is asking how to be in touch with Eric. Eric, any coordinates you want to share? How to be in touch with you for consultation?
how can you can go into one of my web pages, such as www.self-healing.eu.
Self-healing.eu. Yeah.
I think this is
That's
the
right.
website.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Great.
So yeah, so all the viewers, you can contact with Eric, be in touch for any consultation on naprapathy. So I thank once again Eric for sparing time for this interview.
Yeah. Great.
And,
Thank you, Eric.
yeah.
Thank you
I
very
don't know
much.
if I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are
Oh, okay.
audible.
So,
Audible. Yeah.
yeah, and we will continue this journey and to be inquiring into the natural order. It's great fun. It is like, observing what is natural and imbibing it in our lives. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
watching.
Thank you, Minu.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Minu. Your questions were fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Take care.